I don't know how interesting that will be, but at least then you'll have some kind of idea of what I actually do whenever I study, or basically what it means to be a student, a student like me. So I think that might be interesting, at least something for a change, like something different from writing, which actually also I didn't do a whole lot of writing as well, just because I'm just getting back on track, planning a whole lot of stuff, working extra shifts at work whenever they offer themselves. So all in all, it has been chaotic. I have been a mess, and a mess to the kind of degree that you just don't want to see it. You really do not. You really just didn't want to see me struggle. Let me just phrase it like that. So, but without further ado, on to the vlog. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the second vlog. On today's schedule, well, is basically going outside. Yes, outside. There is such a thing still as the outside world. In all seriousness, actually I was supposed to go to the post office yesterday, but I didn't get to do that due to work. So that's basically what I'll be doing today. I actually also already did in part, hence is why I look kind of messy, because it's raining outside and I'm not one to wear a hood or use a umbrella. So if I look kind of rained on despite me blow drying my hair, it's because of that. And actually I have to go to the other post office actually now. But I just don't want to, because I'll get rained on again. But I have to, because I actually was supposed to post this yesterday. Struggles. In other news, and perhaps more related to the channel itself, I'm almost done with another chapter of Until the Last Page of Spring. God damn it, Jay. English, pronunciation, articulation, you can do it, come on. Anyways, so yeah, I'm almost done with another chapter, and it's so cute, I swear to god, it's so fucking cute. Because, okay, so the male protagonist is a werewolf who runs a bookshop and basically tries to live a human life. I'll get into detail about it later on. But in this scene, there is this conflict between the female protagonist, who is human, and just his way of seeing things. Like, they're already sort of dating, they're not quite sure themselves. They think they are, and actually they are. But it's so cute because you just see these two worlds colliding, and he's basically like, yeah, but if I can't renew my mark on you, then how are people supposed to know we are together? And she answers to that by, look, there are other ways. There are other ways you can show people I'm yours, even though that's actually quite early on, so let's just take things easy. But if you really have to and you really insist on this, there are other ways, and he just doesn't get it. So there's this kind of bickering going on between, yeah, but what do humans do? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? And she's just like, well, that's normal. No, it's not. Yes, it is. So there's a lot of that going on, and it's so cute. And there also may not already have been the first kiss, which the two of them actually also overanalyze. So yeah, all in all, it's a good time. It's really sweet. And I actually can't wait for you to read it, and I hope you'll feel the same as I do, because I am actually really getting kind of giddy over this, which is actually also kind of absurd, but I think it's cute. I think you find it cute. So yeah, we'll see. But first, before I get back to doing that, let's go outside to the post office. So here we are again, back from the post office. It was just basically just dropping off a package and going straight home. And fortunately it's no longer raining, so but basically my makeup didn't get ruined any more than it already is. Although it could be worse. Definitely could be worse. Same goes for my hair. Could be worse. So yeah, I also just finished chapter 4 of my werewolf, well, I call it tragedy. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's just call it a werewolf tragedy. So yeah, I finished chapter 4, at least the first draft of that, so I'll just set aside for a wee bit so I can return to it later, all fresh and sharp to start editing. Let's see, what shall I do for the rest of the day? I do not know. Well, somewhere I'm actually tempted to continue writing, but on the other hand, I just don't have the energy at the moment, so I think I'll first make a cup of coffee, read a bit more of either Before the Coffee Gets Cold or Dubliners, and maybe just start on the next chapter tonight. But I found this picture online which basically makes me want to write some scenes which are basically meant for later on in the book, but again, as I said, I just don't have the energy right now. So yeah, let's see what a cup of coffee and a bit of a reading break can do. Okay, so I know I hinted earlier at what I'm currently writing, and I actually never elaborated on the subject. So, as I said before, I have this werewolf bookseller, and as I also mentioned before in the previous vlog, he is not like your average hulking out into a murderous beast kind of werewolf. Well, I mean, he kind of is. I'm not going to tell you about it just yet. I think I will during Camp NaNoWriMo, and I believe that is in April, which I'm actually also planning to do vlogs for. Anyways, I digress. Back to the subject. So his name is Felix Morrison, and one day he is visited by Hindla or Helena Mainwright, who is basically this shy travel journalist who really likes to spend her days in bookshops. The two of them don't really set off on the right foot straight away. However, soon after sharing a cup of coffee, they gradually kind of get to know each other a little bit better. But at least, and this is then from Hindla's perspective, Felix doesn't seem to be quite normal, which actually also kind of has to do with this whole reputation he has in the town itself of being quite unapproachable and kind of like this weird outsider. But nevertheless, she doesn't give up on him, and she keeps returning to the bookstore just to check whether or not he is still there. Because she's actually kind of, well, for lack of better words, fascinated by him, and she actually wants to get to know him. And from there on out, because one day she is actually lucky to run into him. Well, actually she thinks he isn't at the stall. He runs out, calls after her, and from there on out, basically their story evolves. And as I said before, it's not really this cliche of a monster falling in love with a woman. Well, it kind of is, but with this, I've taken lycanthropy to a more fatal end for one's humanity than basically tends to be the case in movies and all that, where they just shot down like beasts. With this, with what I'm writing, it's kind of this, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I have basically taken this mythological disease as something like Alzheimer's or dementia. Like slowly but surely, the werewolf will forget their humanity, and slowly and surely they will transform into a real wolf. So basically, once you're bitten, you're on a deadline unless you get the proper medication and treatment, which might be provided by some kind of secret society within the university. Or perhaps not, who knows? Again, details will be provided later, likely during Camp NaNoWriMo in April. But for now, I don't know where I'm going with this. Where am I going with this? Right, so yeah, once you're bitten, you can basically be treated. However, if you're from a bloodline of wolves, there basically isn't any treatment possible. And Felix might be kind of, well, that scenario might apply to Felix. So even Hindla and Felix, as they get to know each other, they are basically on a deadline, and he knows he is on a deadline, even though he tries to fight basically himself. And that is also where the tragedy comes in. By the way, sorry if you keep seeing like my my fingertips popping up. I have a tendency to really widely articulate with my hands. So yeah, that is also where the tragedy comes in. I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. I might during, as I said, likely during Camp NaNoWriMo I will provide more details, but just know this. I thought of multiple scenes and scenarios in the last 2 chapters in the tub recently, and I was almost crying. I know that's too much information that I was in the tub almost crying, but well, if you haven't learned from the previous vlog, I'm a chaotic person who basically has no filter and has no problem sharing certain things. So yeah, and I mean, if it can make me cry, and I don't cry easily, like I don't cry easily at all. However, just my mere thoughts managed to make me cry. Now, I don't know if that will make you cry as well, or if I'm just being a huge softie, because I actually also kind of have this specific image of Felix who's based on someone. So it could also just be perhaps because of that. But yeah, those thoughts, man, they just really got to me. So I hope I can do them justice and then don't just fuck it up. But we'll see when we get there. Anyways, that is what I'm currently working on. There's also this other project, Down the Rabbit Hole, which is currently in the editing stages. Again, English articulation. You thought it should be good considering I'm an English student. It's not. It's not. It's absolutely not. And that is a contemporary smutty romance. Like, as I said, I'm just gonna be honest with you. But that's in the editing stages, and again, I'll provide details on that later on when I'm 100% certain I actually can, because right now I'm also basically rewriting at the same time. So the story is actually also kind of changing a wee bit, and I'd like to just see it through to the end before I actually provide you with proper details about what it is about. Because at this point, I think I know what it is about, but then again, I could be wrong in the end, and it's actually not anymore what I think it was. Like, my characters just grow organically, and they drive the story, and basically they write the story. I'm just a pen, basically. But that's the update for now, and I think I'll likely see you tomorrow. Are you happy now? Are you gonna leave me alone now? Are you gonna stop whining?
we... Can I just film? Can I just film? Can you just leave me be for a wee bit? Can you just leave me be for a wee bit?
I look bad, don't I? Well, that's what you get with only 5 hours of sleep. Now. So an update. Well, actually today's Thursday and I'll be going to work in about 2 to 3 hours. I didn't do a whole lot yesterday, just a bit of editing. Especially chapter 3 of Down the Rabbit Hole, so still 7 to go, plus 2 interludes, which basically makes 9 more chapters to edit on my own. It's going great, it's going great, it's fantastic. I mean, I love being a writer, but the editing, man, just the editing, it's not it. And especially because I have to cut down on the poetry, like, a good bit. And the things I wrote down in the first draft, like, oh my days. Yeah, you can definitely tell that I'm a student of classic English literature. So yeah, yesterday was just a whole lot of editing and stressing about grammar and spelling and being clear. By the way, if you're shaking, it's because I'm holding you up in my hand instead of just putting you on, I'll show you, on this here. So yeah, just please excuse my shaking hands. Don't know why it does that. Maybe because I am overdue for more caffeine. Maybe just because of the chronic lack of sleep. Who knows? But that's yeah, that's basically the update for today. Although, no, wait, that's not everything. That's not everything good today. So, besides having slept abysmally... I'm sorry, my cat is just looking at me weirdly. Oh, no, okay, maybe switch to the other hand. There we go. So, yeah, despite having slept abysmally, like, I woke up at 4:15 and after that, 5:30. And that's just a moment where I decided, well, might as well just get out. I've actually been trying to set up a website. It's a struggle, you can definitely tell that despite being 21 and living in the 21st century, I am not that handy with technology whatsoever. So it's been a struggle, but I think I'll launch it in somewhere in the near future. It's basically almost sort of kind of done. I just really have to figure out some functions like newsletter and just like the very specific aspects of building a website. But all in all, it's coming along. It's just taking a bit of effort and patience and learning. Yeah, and aside from that, just in regular student life, I am just getting ready for the start of the second semester. And because I don't know, where am I going with this? School's starting again on Monday, so I'm just preparing for that. I just had an epiphany. Okay, so listen to me. Listen to Hopeless Wanderer by Mumford & Sons. And try not to tell me that once you read until the last page of Spring, my Werewolf Tragedy project thingamajiggy, that it doesn't actually apply to Felix. Like, listen to that song, and I can tell you, that song is Felix in a nutshell. And I don't care if I haven't told you a whole lot about him. I eventually will. You can read up about him on my website when that will finally launch, which will be soon, I promise. But as I said, technical difficulties, I'm just not very handy. Anyways, listen to that song and just listen to the whole album. It's great, it's grand. But yeah,